Hey everyone, welcome back to Transport Fever 2. This is the Great Western Railway. We're at our London-bound station at the edge of the map. You can see it ends right here. This is meant to represent the track that goes off to London. The station's a little bit small for it, probably should be 4 tracks and that type of thing, but it's where it is and what we have. I thought we would just have some fun going around the map. Our plan is to go around, I think, counterclockwise. And we're just going to go around and do a little bit of fiddling. First thing I want to do is kind of finish this off. We made this last time. I did a little bit off camera afterwards. Like, for example, I put this road in off that way and things like that. The little sign got put in, and I put down a whole lot of cargo on the station. All different types of barrels and boxes and even cable drums over there. I think I want to do this a little bit more. So there's a couple of ways of modifying a station, and obviously you can just put stuff on it, but if you have this cargo shed mod, you actually can do it kind of like en masse. So I think what I'll do is those 2 segments I'm going to get rid of, and then this one is actually a covered one, so it's kind of like a cheap way of doing this. And I don't know if we want 2 of them in a row. I think it's a bit much. The other option is a building, but I don't think that matches very well either. Yeah, this is like a 2-story building. Nah, I think I'll just go normal building. So let's go platforms, and then I'm just going to do the basic one with no sign and lights and that stuff on it. So yeah, that looks pretty cool, I think. Take off the thing there. An astute commenter said, hey, you forgot to put the tracks in with no bolsters. JK has this version of the normal track that just gets rid of the yellow things. Well, the yellow things are the bolster things, the white things. So if we just upgrade that track and do it without catenary, they will just disappear. So it's much more of a diorama as it goes off into the distance. Between episodes, I moved the bus station so it's right here, and in the last episode we did have the cargo coming in and out. And yeah, also I put some gates onto here. It's a bit of a different look and feel. Oh look, we've got our first residential building turning up right there. That's kind of cool. I'll accept that. If we go scroll out a bit, you can also see that I got out the tree brush and just blatted this entire area, which is kind of fun. Yeah, back at where we peeled off here, I also put in a whole lot of fences. Nothing too complex, just a whole lot of picket fences, and then a little bit of underbrush. And I've just been mixing it up, doing things like a bit of grass sometimes, or a bit of vegetation. So there, it's a bit stark. So just filling it up a little bit with a bit more color, very micro type thing. See here, it's kind of got, there we go. Yeah, so the track that goes this way did actually have the maintenance train in it. I think, yeah, they must have gone. I thought I saved the save game with them parked there, but yeah, we did get our visitor. This is also a place where we can change the end to the N1. Actually, this is a station, so we do it via this way. There we go. And so now, yeah, this looks like it's a bit more busy. I think what I'm going to do is actually extend that track just a tiny amount. And that's actually a bit weird. And I'm actually going to plonk on an asset, so it's going to be under here. So I avoid this type of asset because it's real, so it's fired up, it has steam and all that stuff, and it actually is really slow to place them. Actually, hopefully maybe we can do it this way. So risky there, the ones under this one are real, the ones under this one are more like static and don't exist. Actually, this does have it this way, so we'll do it this way. I'm gonna park the explosive van down there for some reason, and let's make this a bit more not as bad as it is. So yeah, strength small, yes, do that so it doesn't look like it's too dire. Why won't that edge disappear? Weird. But anyway, that's a bit more sensible. Why do we have a dink dink? Ivory mutually blocked. So where is this? Are you meant to even be? You're not even meant to be in here. This is a. Why are you here? So when you change the routing, you can see it's meant to be way out here. When you change the routing, it's meant. It just sometimes gets confused and thinks it has to go into places where it doesn't need to. What we need to do to fix this is, I think, a signal one of these at the end of there. And yeah, you'll start moving and we should be good to go. And then since there's going to be two of them, let's do that. Yeah, this is our production. Oh, look at that, it's filled in with lots of stuff. We place these assets in the middle, but we left this space free under here. So as stuff is being delivered, it is, what's up? What is this? Yeah, all this plastic, 754. That's what all that white stuff is. Kind of cool. And hopefully, okay, he's going to move forward. He's going to get his butt off there, and this is going to fix itself. And yeah, hopefully that won't repeat. As I said, it tends to happen when you reconfigure the track. Our hill valley guys coming up the hill here. Or is it going down the hill? Oh, it's going down the hill, wrong way. We can have a bit of a sneak here, a bit of a train watch with our lovely pannier engines. Number 1 engine, which is not that guy, has a different number and a different version, and then numbers 2, 3, and 4 have this slightly newer version. Yeah, I like how I've put in a whole lot of different coloured grass here. I think that looks pretty cool. Let's have a check in on how our hill valley runaround's going. Yeah, all this is, I think we showed this a couple episodes ago. We've got this whole area. And in theory, if the logic's working correct now, this guy should come down here, come here, and do a run around way down using this track. I might just speed this up a bit. Come on, buddy, hurry up. So they're going to come in, pick up their passengers. Yeah, it's on triple speed right now. Yep, so they come forward. They will do a run around way down here, but yeah, just before the turntable. And yep, go around the sidetrack. Yep, go around the sidetrack. So if there was a train in the station, that would have worked quite well. So yeah, that little modification worked. And I also mentioned how I extended the track. This point used to be back here, and you can see when they get over here that they only just fit. So this actually got a block, so there actually is probably a train chasing it down the hill. And so you can see now that that guy will stop there. And yeah, plenty of space now at the back for the other one. And I assume this guy's going to have to wait for a while as someone else comes. Where are you? Yeah, there you go. Oh, actually, they're going up the hill? Oh, interesting. Because we don't have points either direction. So even though they could, in theory, follow them, there's no signal saying they can. That's fine, though. I love Hill Valley. Looks really cool. Actually, not seen those gates. We probably should change those gates over at that New London place. Oh, look, it's a hive of activity. So these guys are going to go in. I don't know whether, is it going to be this guy? Oh, it's okay. This guy's going to go down the hill. So that other guy's going to have to wait a little bit. Let's watch them come through over here. We'll duck on down. Watch those lovely gates go. Choo choo choo. We haven't got any freight over here. I don't know if I want to add freight to this line. I kind of like just these trains going by, these passenger trains. Yeah, I think we might leave it that way. I also really do like how this Matt had a staircase. There you go, you can watch the piston walk up. There you go, yeah. Really does do a good job. Yeah, the tracking up it's really good. As long as you place the road correctly next to it, they come out and they have their feet kind of at the right height. Pretty good. Yeah, I do like this area. All right, let's go back. Actually, we talked about the gates. I think what we should have done over here. Yeah, this station's hard to see. It's way down here. I do just have posts right now. I think this might actually look better with some gates. So yeah, it looks kind of okay. The road has a twist to it, so that's why these aren't exactly correct. I don't know. It doesn't look perfect. I think we were better off with something else. Maybe we just go this type of gate. Yeah, that kind of hides the angle better. Yeah, that works pretty well. And in comes a freight train. Yeah, that's pretty good. I like the different things that it added. You know what? I'm going to put one of these lids over here because I think that would be nice to see this kind of empty. The reason I didn't put two in it was because it looked a little bit repetitive. But I think if we put, where is it? The lid, that one. I think if we put that there, so the front one and the back one have, like, if it's like docking to the left or docking to the right, I think that looks pretty good. Yeah, I think that's kind of cool. We could put cranes here and stuff like that. All right, so we did that. I did a bit of a show and tell of our new spur over here and put that little van thing there. I think what I wanted to look at was Bergen. So this guy, we 5-10 episodes ago set up a lumber mill line, so that comes out there. There's no animation showing what's in it. I don't think, how do I do this? I think I need to turn on this. Yeah, I need to turn on that. Yeah, so there's 1,252 inside there if we wanted to deliver it. So if they wanted to do that, they could. We have a rate of 39. Okay, that's actually pretty low. So at the other end, it goes across the whole map and then goes all the way down to here. So basically, this guy, if I get the, you can see how I've put these sheds on, so it's how it says no name. If I click on the actual factory, it says, hey, I want... actually, it's already got 1,974 in delivery anyway. So even if we increase the rate, it's already got tons. It's because the steel's coming in very slow. So we're asking for 100. It's delivering 35, 39%. 39, that's where this comes from. We should, yeah, I think we might increase this to one more vehicle. And we'll copy paste that name. And we'll call that number 3. So it gives us a little more rate, but we need to do something about the steel being woefully low. So let's go over to the Dresden steel mill. That's in our big industrial area. So basically we were on the opposite side of the map. I'm trying to work out which way it was, but it was, yeah, it's over there. Way over there is where it was. Are these guys happy? So the Steel Express has a 404 on it. What was the rate of the line? 45. It's really low, yeah. And that's spread over 2 different places because the steel mill is trying to deliver it to the pottery and war materials. I'm tempted to delete that product, that production. The tools factory and the guild. So basically one of those, yeah, both of those are next to each other. So what we have is, it comes, let's get rid of some of these icons. It comes from way over there, goes down the valley, and then it drops off some of them at this first place, the Kismod tool. So this place can make its tools, and then it continues down the line and drops off the other half so it can make these machines, these gear things. So we do need to deliver a fair bit. So I don't want to put too many trains on the line, but I also want to kind of enjoy the fact that there's a lot. So yeah, see, waiting for a free path doesn't bode well. So where are you? So you're kind of, yeah, everybody's kind of queued up. Everything's a little bit busy, so I am very reluctant to, yeah, that's that's going to contend with that one. Yeah, as much as the rate is low, I'm tempted not to increase that. How is that was the steel side. How is the asphalt side? So it wants stone, and realistically, we've got a kind of enough stone. I mean, the crude is the limiting factor because it's needed for both. And so we've got tons of slag. The slag comes across the conveyor belt. And I assume we will see some come across. I mean, that's the line. Is anything going to come flying past? Don't make me a liar. Come on. I am not seeing anything. Maybe it's delivered so much that... Oh, there it is. There's some slag. Right there. Comes along the conveyor belt. Isn't that cool? Actually, no, piece right there. Yeah, so we do need more crude over here. And so the crude comes from this oil thing. So it only has a rate of 66, which is pretty low to service this. Without even looking, I'm going to dupe that one, and we'll go up to 3 oil trains. 3. And then, yeah, that should be good. Yeah, that should be good. That gives a little bit more crude. And then, actually, one of the things I did notice a while ago, and I never did anything about it, is the goal with this thing was, what happened is, fuel was being generated by, let's see if I can find it. I want this one. So over here, there is an oil to fuel factory, and if I do this, what happens is with the yellow line, there's a train that goes around here, delivers over here. It goes from here to here, delivers. This is a 2-to-1. Comes back, delivers another load, and then the oil goes down the line, and then it was bringing fuel back, dropping it off here, and then the Rockstone, this guy, is meant to be then taking it down the line to Dresdoom. When we readjusted this, we added a whole lot of, you can see right there, a whole lot of fuel carrying trucks that are delivering it out onto the network, out onto the train line. And then on the train line, actually right there, we changed the train so that they have oil on the back. And you can see there's actually 3 fuels. So we actually don't want the backhaul anymore. So from yellow, we don't want it backhauling over here and then transferring onto red. So I don't know what filtering we did. So at Rockstone Oil, we should be only picking up crude, and yes, it's see how it's trying to unload fuel. We don't need that. And then other end is drop it off, and then come back here. So we go around the loop twice, and then unload oil. Why would we unload oil? Tisdale. Actually, okay, that's the other end. That's down there, I think. Rockstone oil. So pick up crude. Oh, that makes sense. Pick up crude, and then unload the crude and pick up the oil, and then so it's there to there, there to there, and then this is this step. It goes off that way, and then we are unloading it, and then we're no longer picking up fuel, and then we're no longer dropping it off here. So the yellow is definitely not doing a backhaul of that anymore. And then when it comes to Rockstone oil, when we're here, it's like go around the loop, pick up crude, but we were filtering it down to 50%, so at least some crude always went, but we don't want to pick up any fuel anymore, any fire. This is a routing thing, so actually let's have fun with this. If I get rid of that, and then press 1 twice. Yeah, it goes across here. It goes to Maybury. It is configured to go to the cargo station so that it can go on either platform. You can actually do a bypass. but it does nothing here. It does neither loading or unloading. And then it's meant to go all the way to the steel mill down the far end of the line. So past all this, down the horseshoe, through all here, and then down here. And then it's... Oops, I did not mean to do that. I think... Yeah, luckily I fixed that. So here should be just unloading crude. Simple as that. And then it leaves. It has a routing thing of this guy, so that this is where it was unloading fuel before. It doesn't need to do that. It just needs to have a routing thing. It's allowed to go through platforms. Looks like we've only chosen platform 2. What I could have done, rather than using a station for that, is I could have said, you just need to go through this signal. And then, that works. And then around, and then that's a routing 1 again. We don't need fuel. Yeah, that's it. So now, no fuel is coming over to Dresdoon via that rockstone thing, and it should be purely bringing over crude, maximizing that. If we want fuel over here, we really should be delivering it with the cargo network. And so let's have a quick look at those. So that's a Great Dotton thing. Do any of these have crude? They do. So those have got oil wagons on the end. So yeah, this area, that's Great Dotton. What are you doing here? This game confuses me sometimes. Great Dotton is just across here. Why are you down here? Sometimes the routing just gets weird. What they're trying to do is do a U-turn down. They're trying to go down here and use this as a U-turn. They've come across the entire map just because of that silliness. So what we need, ignoring that, so what are you? That's a stone. We'll look at you in a sec. So we need the cargo station. We want this one. All right, the Maybury Valley, this guy. So they should be able to get, the oil comes across, the oil goes there, and they should be able to bring some oil down here. None of these, by the looks of it, have what they need. What's the finances like? It's okay. So what I'm going to do is there's these 3s. So I'm going to modify those. Yeah. And all right, these have got some pretty cheapy, nasty stuff on them, but that's okay because we actually like the diversity of rolling stock. I'm going to leave these at 120, but I'm going to get rid of some of these. And let's find some Great Western Railway oil stuff. Actually, no, I'm going to choose fuel. And it looks like there's none, so we might have to use the word British. There we go, British. And these are kind of short wheelbase, so we'll stick with one of these. We'll go with, say, dirty ones, and let's go with... you know what? Let's go random. Let's choose random, and we'll get random ones. And looks like we can only afford 2. 126. Yeah, we probably should get rid of one of those. Yeah, okay. And then I'm gonna hold. So this normally we'll just move it by 1. If I hold down Shift, it moves it to the end. And then we'll put on 3 there. Put that to the end. Delete that. And so now they're going to have the ability to move oil. So now, in theory, that route will pull fuel from there across to here. I don't know whether the route through Maybury... Keep on turning these icons off. I don't know if this... So that was the Great Dotton across the bottom. The Maybury Valley is what we just did, which is down to Dresdoon. And now we need the one that goes towards Montguthrie and Swinton because they need fire as well. And that will be the Monty, so this one. And so that's the green line that goes through there. So do any of these have oil? I don't think so. Closing, closing, closing. So let's modify these as well. And we do have these state car ones. Yeah, I think I might modify these two. And 120. So I'm just going to take off 2, maybe that, and then we'll do that as well. And yeah, roughly the same length, 120-ish. And now, yeah, that works. So, ta-da. So if we go look at one of those, they now have the ability to deliver some bricks. Looks like asphalt's that grey one, and then now we have the nice random leverage at the back with the fuel stuff. So yeah, that fixes that. So we'll have a little bit more growth around the world. While we're over here, let's double check the last thing around here, which was the from the asphalt side. So that's the crew coming in. Stones. Oh, there's plenty of slag that was over the conveyor belt. So maybe we can up the stone rate a bit. Yeah, so it reckons transport's only half of what it wants. So let's get it up to 100%. Let's see if we can find that line. So I think this one comes through this track. Yeah, stairwell stone. So it comes in, drops off stone, goes around the loop. But when it's here, actually, it drops off stone and picks up asphalt, goes around the loop, and then drops the asphalt here for delivery to the world. So basically, Drastoon is kind of like a transfer station, and so is Maybury over there. And then it comes over here. And where are you right now, Adam? Oh, there we go. It goes around the lovely loop inside the quarry. And I'm actually going to press pause. And we can actually have some fun here with the camera. And you can see this lovely chute asset that, yeah, lets us kind of simulate that things are being loaded, even though it really comes off of the platform. At some point, when we developed this, there was a little tendril. If I turn on Alt L, you can see it up here. See how this doesn't touch anymore? I deliberately detached it, but it was giving us distance from here to over here. So what's happening is this stone's coming from the quarry. These beautiful Ivan trains bring the stone down, and then they drop it off here. Now, if we click on that, you can see that it doesn't reach over there. So what happens is we added a little diorama thingy where is it? This guy is doing laps. And so he's doing it at, what's your rate? At 93 is the rate. And basically off the hill, it gets dumped off here. And then that guy's picking it up, driving it round past our diorama one. And then actually dropping it off right here at this drop-off point. And that puts it into the station. And then this goes off. So that's running at 93. And the mine is trying to ship it at 100. So yeah, that 93 is slightly low. What we could do, this is a 4B. Let's manage that vehicle and replace them. And it's going to be an Ivan, but we'll use the 6-way variant. So this has got four things on the back, and we want the one that has stone. And so we'll change that to the 6. This makes it a little bit bigger, a little bit higher capacity, so extra +7, so up to 42. And that rate should now be, up 140 now, so a fair bit bigger. So they'll deliver more, or they'll deliver at least 100 that we've been asked. And then this train is running at 51, so it's only about half of what it needs to be. Let's manage these vehicles and see what this guy looks like. We need stone. And let's try Great Western Railway first. Okay, we do have that. Because we made this a long time ago. These things are, what are these things? They are the 5-plank open wagon, which I think was up here. Yeah, I think it's this one, 5-plank open wagon. So these hold 5 and actually have quite a slow loading speed. The upper speed probably doesn't matter too much. So let's sort this by capacity. And actually this bottom one has 10. Wow, that's huge. So yeah, if we go from this one, I mean, it did have the nice leverage on it. It goes from 6, is that the one we've got? 6 or... Yeah, I think this is the one we've got, one of these. So we're going to go from 6. What was I highlighting before by accident? What was the point for one? Okay, it was this one. Yeah, that's not what we've got. It must be this one because it's got see that JJ Johnson on it. So yeah, let's manage that vehicle. Let's edit them. And so currently it's 6683 meters. I'm going to put this down for a sec so it's easier. And then stone and the capacity. So 6 will go up to 10. And these are kind of the same size actually. So we'll go up to 77, then put that back on. And 83. These go 120, so speed's fine. And we've gone from, what were you? You were going from this one. Try and get this all correct. You had 66 capacity at 97, and now you're going to go 110 at 97. So basically, we're doing exactly what we need because this thing needs to run at a rate of 100. So when I modify that, it should say, okay, rate of 86. Okay, well, it's getting there. I don't think we can make it any longer. But let's watch this guy. We'll turn some graphics on. Let's watch this guy do it loading. Cool little diorama. And watch those fill up. These are now kind of like arced, these things. There's a mod called the Better Fill mod. Actually, we can probably work out what it's called, actually. I think it's called... Better. It's called the More Even Grain Ore Loads, this one, by Grimm. More Even Grain Ore Loads. And what it does is it says, hey, it bugged me that they weren't flat, and so basically he made it so that the animation of these is much more domed. So that's what's causing that to happen. But that was cool. Still got the Great Western leverage on it. We did lose that customization, but that's okay. I'd rather double its capacity than add a second train. And then that Ivan's doing its job, delivering it. It's empty because we changed it mid-flight and delivered. Nice. And then we can actually watch this guy fly along. Off they go. There's a lot to see in this map. A lot to see. Alright, so let's press this button. One of the things I wanted to do is, mental note, where was it? Well, actually, before we go into it, how bad's this? 32, 20 out of 32. You can have one more. That should be fine. I'm assuming a train just stopped off. Yeah, just doing what I was looking at. We had the lumber thing. Yeah, I saw this out of my corner of my eye, but I didn't do anything about it. When we put this down, I put down these assets, and I went, I hope the station doesn't get overwhelmed with stuff on it, and it has. So let's just re-put those down again. They were like trucks. Do a random color, old timer random, and that's okay. I'll say it's a bit too old, but hey, it's part of the fun to have weird stuff. Yeah, actually, you probably could do with one over here as well. So you could have some worker stuff. Yeah. Yeah, that one's a little bit too pushing the limits. That's really old. But yeah, these more industrial ones. Actually, that one's a bit old too. But that's fine. That looks a little bit better, a little bit more realistic. So yeah, this is the that one that went to that loop place, which I love. So it goes across the map, and then hopefully those passenger trains are now not harassing this place. Yeah, I'm not seeing anybody down in there. I love this diorama. I think it came out really nice. You get nice shots of the main line up there as well. Yeah, it did come out quite nice, and the fact that we're able to cover the visiting trucks roughly the same things as the ploppables was pretty cool. And it looks like there's a fair bit on the platform. Yeah, 46. So yeah, so basically what's meant to happen is that guy's meant to pick up the paper inbound. You can see at 66 to 66, so both of these have got paper inbound. And then when they get here, they pick up the packages. And then on the way back in, I think, is it Montguthrie, as they go flying through, they should be, sorry about the zoom then, they should be unloading, yeah, they're unloading the packages. And then it gets transferred onto the normal trains, who then start delivering it around the world. So yeah, that's working quite well. What are we up to? 35 minutes. Is there anything else that I kind of want to play with? I don't know there is. I think these guys, okay, you're running at 138. This paper bill, okay, it wants a bit more. It's not receiving, risky, it's not receiving what it wants. So the transport of the paper outbound's good, but it's not. Am I reading that correctly? Yeah, it's not receiving enough wood. So what we should do is, what happens is these guys from the logs just come across here, and we sneakily plonked in an unload spot. That's a kind of a tongue twister sometimes. In the middle of this production, it's actually, you can see it there. There's actually a hidden one there. And then that's in range. If we click on that, it's in range of both of these two places. So that's how the lumber gets across here. But we can probably bump up the rate of this. Yeah, it's 138. And these guys want, yeah, they want, they want 300 from them. And these guys want, yeah, we could run this at 600 if we wanted. So there's 10 of these. Let's just double it up to 20. And we'll run it at 277, and that way these guys won't be starved. And then in theory, on here, yeah, there's only 6. We'll have more paper that we can deliver to the world and keep people happy. How's our trains going? So passenger train 29. That one had 29 out of 80, so definitely is okay. Across the network, not too bad. So yeah, so one was 49 in one direction, 29 in the other. So yeah, we don't really want to add any more of those to the line. Yeah, I don't know what the future is for this corner. The passenger line just kind of ends here abruptly, which is kind of weird. And then the production is kind of tempting. You can modify this industrial station, and you actually can say, hey, configure it so that wall's not there, so you could actually continue the tracks through. But saying that, there's a pretty horrific hill there, so I'm not sure how that would pan out. Yeah. So yeah, we've kind of spent a little bit of time down this corner of the map. We talked about the stone and stuff like that, and how is this one going? There's another one where it seems to be a little bit busy around this town. It looks like they're pretty busy, so that's, I mean, yeah, I think it's just a matter of time. So it could clear out 20. I mean, each of these buses takes like 11. A couple of buses turn up, and 4 trips. The thing I'm worried about is if I put more buses on, the train doesn't arrive very often. And so, risky, what's important is that this clears out before the next train load of people gets dumped off. How are the finances? Yeah, so we're barely profitable, so I'm tempted not to do that. I took our profits. I was up at 5 million, and we've actually gone down again. Where's the this one? Where's the overall finances? So this is population. Yeah, okay, so here we are. So if we look at the whole game, yeah, it's risky, $100 and something million in and $100 and something million out. It's not that profitable, and so it's only a very slow movement. And the number of tracks that we've laid has increased. That's cool. Actually, the bridge quotient has changed right there at the end. What we haven't done is we haven't put down the headquarters. We'll probably do that in the last episode. All right, anything obvious left to do? I'm happy with all of this. I'm sure these guys are running at rates that's appropriate. We seem to have tons of steel on the platform, so I'm pretty sure that's good. And there's that stone train that we just changed. You know what? That might be a good chance to say goodbye. Fun little episode where we just went around and played with stuff. Hopefully you enjoyed that little tour, little tweaking of the networks and everything. And we'll do, I don't know what we're going to do next time. Maybe it's time for me to conquer Mont Guthrie's yard, which I continually avoid because I don't know how I want to approach it. But yeah, we'll find out next time, I guess. Don't forget to press subscribe so you can see more Great Western Railway action and other Transport Fever 2 stuff. Check out the Transport Fever 3 side-by-side video that I posted the other day. It has the Transport Fever 3 cinematic trailer recreated in Transport Fever 2 side-by-side. So there's a video on the left and a video on the right, and you can see how I mashed up the two edits to make the same look and feel across Transport Fever 2 and Transport Fever 3. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you next time. Bye, everybody.